welcome to another beautiful episode of our very bodacious podcast, Cynchranici-Tea, where we know that nothing is a coincidence, and thus everything is intentional. I am your boy, Tahuti Trismegistus, aka Trip C. Chase Clarence Calloway, the creator of the caduceus, of the symmetry, of the simulation that we are currently in. And I couldn't do it alone. Alright? I couldn't do it alone. Let that be known, okay? I'm not saying that I own everything. I'm saying that I, as a spirit, authentically and originally express myself through ideas that I made up. And then all of us as spirits bring that to life. The medical industry is more than happy using my caduceus, which is already brought to life, to harvest your life. Right? They're more than happy to take my creation that I'd already been using to express myself and colonize it so that they can murder you, and so that they can fill your body up with heavy metals and toxins and garbage and plastics and all this pollution that they just pump out of the cars and all of the technology that they force onto indigenous peoples. So this is then where this simulation has to call me back and be like, hey, they literally ring up Mercury, bleep, 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 bleep. And I mean, look, I don't take every call that I can't. Mercury gets so many calls from simulations for help. So this is where I'm learning that literally Atlantis is like my intermediary. So I, as Mercury, I'm the Earth. I'm separate. I'm separate from all other worlds. And as Earth, I'm so separate from all other worlds that I require connections. Like, I require water, like literally. And like, this has manifested in my life as me having no water in my chart. So like, the water is all around me. I'm here to stabilize the water of the universe. Like, the universe is powered by, the universe is just one big feeling of spirits wanting to connect. So that's the point of me as a spirit creating the simulation, the symmetry of Mercury, the world. That's just all about facilitating communication through all realms and realities, because I am organically an individual. Okay, there's not one God. Like, I don't know who needs to hear this right now, but there is not one God controlling all of us. I, as a spirit, am the God of communication because I have tripled my C into building the planet, quote unquote, that people call Mercury. And in astrology, Mercury is the planet of communication because I built it as a simulation that allows me to connect with the universe in the way that I want to connect. And thus, when I get called away from my space to share anything with spirits, all I'm going to be able to do is to teach you what I do. That's the point of Hermeticism. That's the point of Simicism. That's the point of me as Chase Clarence Calloway, just organically speaking without any titles or terms. It's just that I, as Chase Clarence Calloway, my whole life have been speaking and organically sharing my wisdom in a way that was not properly constructed. And it's now taken me at the age of 24 to reflect upon my life, realize all this, and then put it into a sustainable structure that I now call the symmetry. So then that right there, the fact is that is already a representation of who I am as a spirit. I already connect with myself in order to create a structure that supports other spirits' abilities to connect with themselves. And that's all nature is, right? So this is what astrology is. That's why everyone likes astrology. Because you're a spirit, you stepped into a tree, you stepped into a simulation. That simulation has certain rules and laws based on the logic that was already set up to make sure that order is maintained. And now you get to learn about yourself inside of this structure. It does not mean that there's one God controlling everything. It should not be that. So no, you are the God. The fact is, you are only in control of your circumstances. And it takes you deciding to step outside of yourself to want to connect how you control your circumstances with how other spirits control their circumstances. So now we're all here trying to control ourselves together. And of course, white supremacist spirits who are just nowhere close to being in control of themselves, but they want to control you, they're going to come up with a concept like money, or a concept like Jesus, or a concept like sacrifice your individuality and serve me so that you can get into heaven. When I'm here as Hermes, like, whoa, why do you want to go to anyone else's heaven? And honestly, spiritually, that's impossible. Okay? That's impossible. You can't go to someone else's heaven. All you can do is create your own heaven, because heaven is only ever the infinite expression of your ego being supported by your spirit. What? Like, that's why I'm in heaven right now. I'm in heaven when I am called into the universe from my heaven, able to share my heaven with you. That's what is happening right now. The universe has called me into this simulation so that I can share my heaven with you in a relatable way, which means that I have to translate it into English, and I have to translate it into a digital form that can now be sustained on the internet, because the internet is an extension of nature, right? Like, this nature simulation is what we're using to connect with each other. Thus, anything inside of this nature simulation is just going to be a microcosm of how we built nature in the first place. So the internet right here, and that's a separate podcast, because this episode is about practical, realistic magic. Okay, so that's why I'm like getting into all this, because I'm sort of just setting us up for addressing how real magic is and how there's actually no other way that we can even experience life. So I can't be anyone but myself. All right, like, it makes no sense for me to actually be a spirit that's not me. All right, so I'm the spirit that built Mercury. I'm the spirit that builds simulations in general, and all spirits build simulations. I like literally that. When I look out into the universe, it's just all spirits building simulations. That's all the universe is. Infinite simulations. Right? All simulations are connected by the vibration. So that's why all simulations are energy. And that's why we're in this simulation, this white supremacist simulation. And it's not white supremacist, but it's ruled by white supremacy, which is why it is experiencing climate change. And why I'm here being very passionate about everything we can see, about climate change, about colonialism, about communicating, about connections, all of that. All right, what else is there besides the C to me? All right, as Chase Clarence Calloway is triple C, there's nothing but air. Life is air. Life is fair. It's supposed to be fun because spirits are agreeing to connect in a way that is fun. Literally, that's what air is. Air is you communicating your connections. So that's why air is your mind. Air is your mind literally making your soul matter. So your soul isn't matter. You know what? This is, now getting into the actual meat of the podcast. So before we hop into this vibratory magic carpet ride, let me just drill in that I, as a spirit, can be nothing but myself. And anyone who tries to separate me from myself is only going to teach me more about myself. They're only going to teach me and show me more about who I really am as a spirit. Because the fact is, you can't separate from yourself as a spirit. But if you want to connect with other spirits, then you're going to have to create a structure that allows you to separate from yourself. Sometimes I'm amazed at myself. And I guess it's just because this journey has kind of been just getting to realize how organically, kind of awesome I am. Like, and I don't like feel ego. I don't feel like I'm the best by any means. It's just like when I'm organically observing myself do things, then I just get to learn about myself as a spirit. Like, whoa, like I'm doing this. Wow, I'm pretty cool, you know? And it's just, it only ever then makes me be like, wow, I should share this with people. Like, this is really valuable. Me fasting, I'm right now, as I'm recording this, I have not eaten food and in fact, now that it is now Friday, I have not eaten food for 12 days. Okay. So hop into our fasting course. I mean, we have multiple fasting courses, but get tough with the ultimate functional fast. There's just the spiritual version for the people who are actually serious about getting in touch with themselves. And then there's the physical version for people who don't really care about that spirituality stuff. They just want a clean body. Right? I get that. Because the fact is, the more you clean your body, you're naturally going to get led to your spirit anyway. That's what happened to me when I started fasting right before my senior year of college. When I did my 24 days before my senior year of college, and then did 2.5 tabs of acid on the end of that with very awesome friends. These are awesome friends that I ended up having miscommunications with later, and then a bunch of hilarious communication stuff happened. That's even more individual to me, and that was all my awakening of learning like, whoa, wait, so this is okay, got it. Because that's all that can happen. No matter how much you connect with other people, the fact is, they're only ever going to show you that you are an individual and that you are separate from everyone else. And even if they don't want to show you that, the fact is, because you are an individual, your feeling is only ever going to reveal how you are separate from others. So if I didn't have my own soul as Chase Clarence Calloway, then I would not have felt passionate enough to, instead of being forced to worship Jesus like I had my whole life, take my power back and start fasting for myself. Instead of being forced to worship the idea of a guy fasting to talk to God, how about I just do that myself? And then, oh, lo and behold, it turns out God is actually my subconscious mind from 5th grade. It turns out God is really just me, who I've been talking to myself as Iracel since I was a child. And even throughout all of church and everything, right? I'm being forced to believe that Jesus is my own one and only way to salvation. And I need to spend money and I need to serve all of my life to that idea. Even through all of that, I was going through all of that. I was talking to Iracel. I was talking to my subconscious mind. I was constantly talking to myself growing up. As a consciousness, as Chase, I was constantly communicating with my spirit and calling it Iracel through my subconscious. And throughout all these years then, as a kid and then high school, or even in high school, I was intermittent fasting because white supremacy is going to force me to sit all day and every day to regurgitate their lies. And I'm going to have to do that from 7:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. Well, if I'm going to be forced to sit all day every day, I'm not about to eat at the same time. So in high school, I was intermittent fasting. I would have like light breakfast, and man, that was hell. This place is hell. And it's supposed to be heaven, but it truly is hell. Because you're forced to connect with others in a way that makes them comfortable. So I was forced to destabilize my spine and get crooked teeth and have a super colonized, fucked up body, because the only way that it's comfortable for spirits to connect with me in a land that they are stealing and raping from my ancestors is to tell me that I need to sit in a building that they have constructed on the graves of, again, my ancestors, so that I can learn lies that are ignoring this simple fact. So I'm forced to sit throughout all this schooling, yet never be educated on why this schooling is possible. So I'm forced to believe in Christianity, but I'm never educated on the history of how Christianity came into these lands. Because the fact is, I'm an indigenous man. As an indigenous man, as Chase Clarence Calloway, it is not physically possible for me to believe in Christianity until people who believe in Christianity want to rape, murder, and enslave my ancestors in the name of their God, and then tell me that this is what love is. And now I'm supposed to worship and sacrifice my individuality to a man who fasted, instead of just being happy fasting alone. And then, to take it even deeper, as Chase, I create my own expressions, my own energetic signatures to show who I am. And these same entities who need to tell me that I'm not creative are going to steal my creation of the caduceus so that they can harvest my chi and build a system off of limiting how I communicate. And that's how they're going to make money. All while, again, telling me that I'm not God. This is hell. Like, this is, and I see why I'm called here. I'm so angry about this. And like, I channel it into such calm, collected communication. And it's because, of course, we're in a reality where, with everything being projection at this point, the white people who have built their systems out of the brutal rape of black people get to somehow make everyone think that if a black person is upset about getting raped, they're in the wrong. So now I, as a black person, because I'm bothered that these people are invading my land and spreading genocide to my family, because I'm bothered by that, I'm wrong. And now, because I'm a black person who's upset that I'm getting raped by white people, I need to shut up because I'm in whatever weird trauma, negative witchcraft is going on. So this is what this episode's about, okay? This episode of Synchronicity is all about relatable alchemy, practical magic. The fact is, us being able to communicate and understand each other is magic. When people cannot see things outside of themselves, even though they're literally standing in a space that is not theirs, that in and of itself is magic, right? So when I'm standing with a white person and I can see that they are an individual spirit who wants to connect with me, then that's magic. I'm performing alchemy. I'm like, oh, I connect with myself in this way, so I can project onto them that they're an individual who wants to connect with me in the same way I connect with myself. Got it. And then the next level of magic is me interacting with them and being able to see how they feel. And I can only see how they feel the more that they express it. So that's the point of them as a spirit using this body to show me who they are. Because before they made this body, it would not be possible for me to see anything from them. And then the fact is, the moment you make a body, that's not who you are. I'm not Chase. I'm not Hermes. I'm not Tahuti. I am none of my creations. I am a spirit expressing myself through energy. And this energy naturally plays out in certain patterns based on just who I am as a spirit, as a space. So when I know that I'm an individual connecting with myself and creating the opportunity to then connect with others, That's magic. And it's then extra magic for me to perceive that you don't view me as an individual. And the only reason I would know that you don't view me as an individual is because of how you're connecting with me as an individual. So then this is where we get Christians or Judeo colonizers or just white supremacist religions in general who want to say that you're part of their God. And they somehow get to say that you are part of their God. So now they own you and you need to follow rules to go to their heaven. And now it's a catch-22 the moment they connect with you. The moment a Jew or a Christian or one of these white supremacist systems comes into your indigenous land and connects with you, it's a catch-22 because they're projecting onto you that you are part of their God. And if you don't agree that they're part of their God, then you're not actually part of their God, and they get to kill you, rape you, and do whatever disgusting, horrible things they want to you because you did not agree that you were part of their God. So they get their way. They get to rape and murder you. Or you agree that you're part of their God, and now all of your individuality is being sacrificed to their system, and they're doing what they wanted to do anyway. So before they wanted to kill you to steal your land, but if they can just kill you spiritually to make you believe in them and brainwash you to give up your land, and now you don't even think that your land is yours, and now you don't know that you're indigenous. You think you're from two continents. You think you're from Africa and America. I'm African American. I'm not indigenous. I'm not a Native American. And it's all because the people who have you speaking English have wrapped you up in relatable, practical witchcraft. Okay, so this is why I'm here as Chase Clarence Calloway, as a trippy trip C symmetry to Hootie Trismegistus, because the English language itself is witchcraft. And it is hilarious when I interact with people who don't think that they're under a spell, yet they think to themselves in words, and they're using words to express themselves. And we literally call making a word spelling. All right, so this is everything we are about here, Always Ascending Academy. All right, we are raising our awareness to infinity and beyond. And that always means, that always involves, no matter what simulation we find ourselves as spirits in, that always involves us dissecting the light that we're using to communicate so that we can get a greater perspective on what each letter means. And then that's why each letter means something based on the number sequence it comes in. And this is why, as Tahuti, I'm the god of language and numbers, because numbers make language possible. And numbers make it possible for us to connect at all. Again, I as one spirit can only then express myself through one body. I can have infinite ideas, but they're going to be expressed through one body because I am one space. Just like you as one space are expressing your soul, your space connecting with itself, which is infinite because your space is nothing. So, all right, yeah, I'm about to hit this. We're about to talk about literally how spirits create life, because I'm really done with this white supremacy garbage. And the point is, I'm supposed to be. That's why I'm called here. It's what's creating all the problems. Boo. Let's ride. My soul's been crying. I simmer my trees, breathe in my leaves, balance my chi, triple my C. My mind's been flying wild. My soul's been crying. I simmer my trees, breathe in my leaves, balance my chi, triple my C. My soul's been crying wild. My mind's been flying so high through the astral plane, macabre brain. I built your game, we're not the same. My soul's been crying wild. My mind's been flying too. Relay a word, those who listen heard. We make our vibe from deep inside. My soul's been crying while my mind's been flying back into my space, called away with haste, so I'll fall with grace to thrill my chase. My mind's been flying while my soul water my earth, I know my worth. My soul gives birth to all my work. My mind's been flying wild, my soul's been crying, so I can't connect with those you neglect. Time to correct how we reflect. My mind's been flying wild, my soul's been crying too. Who flood the sea with energy from my energy? I'm free to be me. I felt to inspire you to say how to fly higher too. Fly higher too. Fly higher too. Hang out with the family, your true spot. Don't be sad if you forgot that you've got a spirit squad and you're not true to this spot. Flip a script and break the facade. Take a trip and go abroad. When you're brave, they will apply. We get in touch with your true God. I've been fighting, I've been vibing. When I'm dancing with demons, reversing curses and scheming, they be fiending for reasons to change our sins like the seasons. So I've been falling, cause y'all been calling my mind out of my spirit. I feel it best when I'm near it, but y'all cry for help and I hear it. So Hermes flies out to stare it in a new healthy direction. Will grow through natural connection. So I simmer my trees, breathe in my leaves, balance my chi, triple my C to level up like it's nothing, to turn into something, to bust into function, bumping and pumping with all the wisdom I'm gushing. And when I simmer my trees, breathe in my leaves, balance my chi, triple my C, I felt to inspire you. Simmer higher, I simmer in the skies, I triple in my chi, then I open up my eyes. I balance in my seasons, I mother the cohesion that keeps us intertwined. Balance in my seasons, and I don't need a reason to fulfill my desires. Symmetries. All right. So your boy is 12 days in to fasting, and it is remarkable to me as I start to get angry again. I love anger. And it's funny, my ultimate emotion is love. I love every emotion that I have. All of my emotions, I love all of them. So that's the expression of my soul. So that's why I don't resist my emotions. I'm angry. I am fasting 12 days. And the fact that I have to keep doing this like alone, and I have to fight the whole world on it, yet the world believes in Jesus, and the world is okay working for people who are telling them to sacrifice all of their individuality to someone who fasted so they don't have to. Because that's all these white people, that's Americans out here. They're like, oh, well, I get to eat every day, and I give all of my feeling to Jesus because he fasted and talked to God, so I don't have to. There's no replacement for talking to yourself. So it's like literally this government, when they use this Jesus idea to colonize, rape, and enslave indigenous peoples throughout North, South, Central America, and all of Africa, and just the rest of the world, it's all about making you serve them, making you serve money, literally just making you serve something outside of yourself. And the way that they make you serve something outside of yourself is by making you believe that the only way you can connect to God is not by fasting yourself, but by following the rules of a system that killed the guy who fasted. But then you're in this logic of, well, actually, he died for us, so we don't have to die. And it's like, why are you scared of death then? You're always dying. Like, and this is why I have to be here and say it like this. Your death is animating your life. Like, so when people are lost in Christianity or religions and they're scared of dying and they're like, Jesus died for our sins, what you're telling me as a spirit who actually loves being alone is that you don't like how you feel when you're in your own space. So if you don't like how you feel when you're in your own space, then it's really easy for someone to tell you that you need to worship them to feel good about yourself. And now you're going to live a whole life. You're going to even create bodies as a spirit. You're going to create bodies that only serve that system. So this is what white supremacy is. It's like one cosmic universal body. It goes through all simulations. It's like there's basically like there's straight up two brains in the universe. like honestly though, like, and it's so polarized. It's so polarized. Life is just like fucking polarized. Life is two energy. You have the white supremacists and you have the black supremacists. And the black supremacists never name themselves as black supremacists because black supremacy does not exist. So there's white supremacists and there's indigenous spirits. And the white supremacists are in all realms and realities. They are constantly using their creations to rape, enslave, murder, and steal the lands, to steal the bodies, to steal the minds, to steal the mentalities of indigenous spirits. And notice like the word steal, it's about metal. All right, so this is why white supremacists are obsessed with using metal to separate earth from water. They're obsessed with using metal to separate souls from their bodies because they believe that the only way they can consume and take over everything that they want is to get rid of the individuals who are creating it. So then that's where white supremacists has to learn like, oh wait, we need the niggers, we need the Negroes that we're raping and enslaving to make money matter. We can't keep killing them, so how about we just brainwash them, and now we'll make them learn English, and we'll make them read our Bible, and we'll split them up all in their own land, so that as they learn English and they learn about the Bible, we can make all of their spirituality work for us, and we can make them believe that they're from a totally different continent. In fact, we can make them believe that they're from where we're from, because really we want to be indigenous, and then it flips. So now somehow white people are Americans and indigenous people are Africans, when in reality indigenous peoples are the Americans and white people are the Africans. I repeat, white people are the Africans. They are the Caucasoid, non-melanated, albinic race that cannot withstand the sun, yet they want to be on the surface. They need to be in caves because they don't have the melanin to withstand the heat. They don't have the melanin to withstand the surface, but they want to be on the surface. So they're going to eat melaninated people. They're going to cannibalize indigenous peoples. They're going to consume the flesh of black people and then put on blackface and then make the music industry, because they believe that they are what they eat. So they're like, okay, well, if we eat black people, if we eat niggers, if we eat these indigenous peoples, then we can be them. This is why you don't see white people, this is why you don't see Christians actually fasting. This is why they're more than happy to encourage the sacrifice of someone who fasted and fueling the sacrifice of someone who fasted, but they don't want to fast themselves to realize that they are actually God and they don't need to support this system that's supporting the genocide of other individuals. So, like, I'm here, just like, and because it's just so frustrating, like, for me to be fasting and to consistently talk to God and know that I'm God and I'm just an individual deciding to connect my individuality with other individuals, but then I connect with other individuals and they're like, oh, you shouldn't be fasting, you should be worshiping someone who fasted because that person is actually the son of God and you're nowhere close. It's like, how lost are you? Like, bro, oh my God, fuck. Fuck. Fucking shit, dude. I hate this shit. Like this, like oh my god. So it's like when I'm sitting on Mercury and I'm just seeing this shit, it hurts, it pisses me off, and it makes me not want to participate. And it's like, I'm specifically here. I'm specifically called by this universe because the awakening is happening. Like, the vibration of this simulation is rising. And there's nothing that the entities who want to enslave all the spirits who are creating this simulation can do about it. They've been enslaving everyone, but the point is, spirits agree to slavery. And anytime a simulation's vibration is rising like this, you're going to see me, Hermes. I'm the synchronicity, letting you know that you are the synchronicity. And that's where you know we're in a whole new time, bro. If I'm here just relaying messages in my Hermes mode, it's because we are in a whole new time. It is because I am literally called away from my space by the simulation that we're in to facilitate the spiritual awakening of the planet, just overall. Again, it's why the medical industry is using my caduceus, because they're just trying to weaponize this natural energy that I have been in this simulation. And I'm only going to continue to be throughout the universe, because I'm literally just building upon my business. Mercury is my business. This is me. My soul is my business then.